If you are a Venom fan, more particularly a Tom Hardy fan, I have great news for you guys when it comes to Venom 3. Welcome to the Chaos Multiverse, everybody. Chaos here. Make sure you hit that sub button, turn on those notifications. We cover daily Marvel and DC news. Now, we're not only going to talk about Venom 3 and the update that just dropped, we're also going to talk a little bit about Adam Warlock and how things aren't exactly what people think. A lot of people are assuming Adam Warlock is going to be an auto-avenger and he's automatically a good guy, and that's not the case at all. If you've read the comics, you know the Magus, which is the dark side of Adam Warlock, which is on a power level equal to Kang the Conqueror, Thanos, and others. And we're going to talk about how that could actually be the direction that they take him in the MCU. But first, let's talk about Venom. Let's talk about Tom Hardy. He teased back in April of last year, The Last Dance, Venom 3. And I kind of hope it's not The Last Dance. And if it is The Last Dance, is it just The Last Dance for the Venom trilogy? Because if we don't get Tom Hardy's Venom and Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I have a feeling the fans are going to riot. I really, really do. That feels like the biggest opportunity missed, especially after we got the post-credit scene in Venom 2 and the post-credit scene in Spider-Man. I mean, it just makes sense, right? It makes sense to bring them together and make that happen, especially if we're going to go the route of the black symbiote suit eventually in Secret Wars. Come on, these two have to meet. But anyway, I'm sure that's something for a different day. Maybe he just goes off and starts doing team-up movies after this. But Venom 3 just got an update, and it's a good update. It is going to begin shooting production in a couple months. According to Daniel Rickman in his latest post, he said that the Sony Pictures threequel is set to start filming from June to September in England. And this is kind of how it goes. The other two movies, production kicked off about a year after the other one, or a year before planned release, and that's how it looks. A year and a half, somewhere in there. I mean, Let There Be Carnage started filming in November of 2019. And this kind of falls in that line. So the question is, when does it actually come out? Well, everybody's predicting that it'll come out in the second half of 2022. So we'll have to wait and see. Don't know if they're going to go summer. Don't know if they're going to go fall with this one. But it is moving full steam ahead. There's no worries. Everything is good with this one. So if you're a Venom fan and you're a Tom Hardy fan, well, you're in good hands. I just wonder what they're going to do after this. And what's going to be the plot of Venom 3 if you don't have a Spider-Man character involved as well. Now let's jump over to Adam Warlock. It's going to play a big part in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. If you remember the post-credit scene so many years ago where we had the gold cocoon and she named him Adam, and that was the beginning, the tease, right? How long ago was that? 5, 6, 7 years? Crazy. Well, we now have more clarity on who he is, what the timeline is with him, and what could actually happen. James Gunn said he's basically a baby outside of his cocoon. And he said he's definitely not a good guy. Doesn't understand life very much. So he's going to come out of this cocoon, and he's probably just going to do exactly what the Sovereign tell him to do. He's going to be very angry. He's going to be very destructive. He's probably going to fight the Guardians multiple times. But everybody's prediction is by the end of the movie, he ends up kind of being a good guy. But there's way more to the Adam Warlock story that a lot of people don't know if they haven't read the comics. He could actually end up being one of the most important pieces to this multiverse saga puzzle because he has a dark side. And that side is called the Magus, which is the future version of what Adam Warlock is destined to become. It's the corrupted side, and once again, extremely powerful, equivalent to Thanos and Kang the Conqueror. So there's already predictions out there and theories that Kang the Conqueror, one of the variants or multiple variants, are actually doing what they're doing to keep this guy from ending up with this other dark Magus side coming out, because that would be an existential threat just like Thanos was. I mean, it's going deep. It's going really, really deep, but it could be. Maybe he's trying to protect all of reality, or one of them's trying to protect all of reality. He Who Remains definitely was, from the Magus actually showing up and causing just absolute mayhem. On the other hand, If he's going to end up being good at the end, we're probably going to see the progression of the good Adam Warlock. When can we see him again? We could see him in any cosmic one. We could see him in the Marvels. We could definitely see him in Eternals too, if that actually ends up happening. If Guardians of the Galaxy gets a new team and kind of a new reboot for a new trilogy, he's been one of the Guardians of the Galaxies before. I mean, I don't see how he's not going to play a role in Kang Dynasty. I definitely don't see how he wouldn't play a role in Secret Wars. But the question is, are we going to see teases of the Magus? So here's a prediction. Adam Warlock comes out of the cocoon. He's a bad guy throughout most of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They fight, they go back and forth. At the very end, he starts to have this sense of, you know what? Maybe I'm not supposed to be a bad guy. And somehow he helps the Guardians to do whatever, to get rid of the High Evolutionary. I don't know. In the end, he ends up kind of good. But then we get a post-credit scene where you see just a glimpse of the Magus, or a hint or a tease of the darker side starting to affect him. And then that kind of becomes part of his plot line if we see him again in the Eternals 2, or we see him in the Marvels, or any other cosmic movie. He's being good, he's growing, he ends up being an Avenger, he's fighting alongside the likes of Doctor Strange and Shang-Chi and whoever else is in there at that time. But then we get those little hints and those little Easter eggs and those little teasers that the Magus is in there. And the question is, if they do go that route, they may not, but I don't see how you can't, because the Magus is a huge part of Adam Warlock. It's kind of that internal turmoil for him being one of the strongest superheroes versus him holding back one of the strongest villains that we've seen in the Marvel Universe. And I think if they don't take advantage of that or tap into that story, I think they're making a big mistake and they're missing a huge opportunity, especially if they do it the right way leading up to Secret Wars, because there could come a point where he's actually the Magus and he's taking on all of the Avengers as well, and then he flip-flops back and forth. You guys see where I'm going here. There's so many layers to this onion leading up to Kang Dynasty and the Secret Wars that we're just going to have to see how it goes. So, Adam Warlock is way deeper than a lot of people realize. So when you go watch this movie and you see the cookie cutter, what we expect to happen, remember, there's more underneath that. If they go the Magus storyline route, there is way more for Ian Poulter's Adam Warlock. Okay, there you go. Venom 3, going to start shooting probably in this summer realm somewhere. And Guardians of the Galaxy is setting up to be a huge, huge blockbuster. I think it's going to be $1 billion movie. I really, really do. So you guys have a great day. I'll keep you posted if anything new breaks. We actually have some DC news that we'll probably talk about soon as well. And I'll see you guys soon.